What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Sports Talk on Tap podcast. Where here you can find daily videos Monday through Friday covering all the four major sports leagues, whether that be NFL, NBA, NHL, or MLB, games, news, highlights, all that fun stuff, game recaps. Happy Monday to all those who celebrate. But with that being said, Nick, obviously it was a big Olympic game. We'll kind of, get back into, talking about NBA teams throughout the rest of the offseason. But, there is basketball being played right now. And, it was the first, real game yesterday. Obviously, we talked a little bit of like a preview and kind of one of the earlier prelims against Canada. But there were a couple of games, we didn't mention that we could talk about briefly. Infamously, that 1-point win over South Sudan with the LeBron James game-winning layup at the end. That was an exciting game, but also kind of a little bit concerning, just given the talent on this team. And then a close 4-point win over Germany. They came back in that one. To be fair, though, I think Germany we kind of overlooked in toughest competition because they did win the World Cup last year, and they do have NBA players in Des Schroeder, the Wagner brothers, and just some guys that can just shoot the ball. Because I did watch a little bit of that game, and it was fun. And they were all very close. And then yesterday, Team USA starts off the game, I think, down 10-2 to Serbia. But then the story of the game, obviously, Kevin Durant kind of checks in. Him and Edwards, Derek White, AD kind of just check in, and they bring that United States spark. And at this point, I think I'm just fine with it because, I really do think like the United States bench team, besides probably like LeBron and maybe Curry is just better than their starting lineup. Like, I think they're starting some of these guys out of respect, but like Joel Embiid is, kind of adjusting to these rules. It's just kind of not been the great Olympics so far. And there is something we're going to get into that I think you want to talk about. I was going to kind of hold off on the Tatum stuff because that could be a whole nother segment. But Jason Tatum, that's the other story of this game. We'll get into it in a little bit. But overall, Katie just comes in, starts off red hot, 8 for 8, 5 for 5 from 3. Did not miss, brought the United States back into this game. And, they're able to do their thing. Derek White, I believe, even though, he played like 16 minutes and was still like a plus 15. So Derek White, is going to do the dirty work. And, people were critical, of him, being on the team. But sometimes you just kind of do need guys that are just like, know their role, 3-and-D, don't need the ball in their hands at all. And I think that kind of is what makes a team work. And I'm not saying, Jaylen Brown's obviously the better player, but, you need some guys that can fit. And Derek White, Drew Holiday, those guys you can just kind of plug into any system and, they'll fit. And that's the beauty of having them on your team. Never mind both on the same time for the Celtics. But, just good comeback win earlier on. And, shout out my boy, and Edwards, 4 for 6 this game. So 11 points. And I think him and KD had some iconic moments. LeBron throwing up a lob and, you just kind of are able to, take away, just the good things, a lot of it for, next season, just kind of, polishing up your game, I think, and I think this is a really good moment for him just at 22, playing with these guys will even help him, with his own game. And, the biggest I want to focusing on is, his consistency. And I, saw Kevin Durant on Twitter, giving him some lessons on how to shoot. And, if there's one guy you want to get for that, it's probably Kevin Durant. And, just overall being a great team. Devin Booker hit like 4 3-pointers. So Devin Booker, doing his thing, starting. And just kind of overall a good team win, kind of dominated basically after that abysmal start. But it was only, a quick and Bam providing a nice spark. I see him trying to take a couple 3-pointers, trying to add that to his game. So, just different people trying to do some different things. But overall, a good start to the Olympics. Nikola Jokic, I think, obviously did his thing on offense. But, Serbia is just no match for the United States. But, I am curious, as we progress throughout, they do have South Sudan again. And obviously that was a 1-point game. So What does it look like this time around? I'll be very curious to see. And obviously, some other the top contenders. Germany started off with a W over, I believe it was Japan. Canada picked up a win over Giannis in Greece, led by SGA, and France, the host, Paris, obviously with Wemby and Gobert as the big prime players, and you also have players like Batum and Evan Fournier. They were able to pick up a win over Brazil as the host nation, and a team that I think I would really love to see France versus the U.S. If that could happen. But, we'll see as we look down. But overall, all the big teams kind of, won early in Team USA or in the Olympics.
I know you said that a lot of these bench players are, better than the starters. And to the most part, I agree. But don't disrespect Drew Holiday. He had a great game, too. Shot 6 for 8, 3 from 5, or 3 for 5 from 3. Sorry.
Oh,
15
that was
points.
this game?
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw
Him
something
and
on Twitter like he shot it. I thought it was because they played Serbia earlier and also another scrimmage. I thought it was that game. Was this game?
Yeah, no, that was
All
yesterday.
right, shout out J-Roo.
Yeah, he's been playing very good basketball on this Olympics team.
I did say that you need guys like Derek White and J-Roo on teams, guys that can play off ball, on ball, just kind of do their thing, don't need to shoot 30 times, not that anyone's really going to shoot it here with all these studs, but, guys that can just catch and shoot, play defense. That's where their most value comes from. But, yeah, it was a great shooting game. And obviously, when you score 110 points in, I believe it's 40 minutes, you're doing something. The team's doing a lot right on offense.
Right.
But yeah, I was about to say.
But I'll let you get into it if you want to.
Yeah. For anyone that doesn't know, obviously, from Massachusetts, so we see a lot of sports content. But even then, like watching the game, you could tell there was two guys that didn't play. And, that's always going to be controversial just because, they are, no matter the worst player on this team is obviously considered, still like a star to superstar in this league. Just this team's loaded. But the two notable guys that didn't play were Tyrese, but Tyrese really wasn't playing the last couple of games. And Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum did not get any run. There was speculation whether or not he was sick or not, but Jason Tatum after the game said, no, he's fine. And Steve Kerr, said, yeah, no, he'll make his mark, but basically they were kind of taking his minutes just straight to Kevin Durant. So, kind of with that being said, Nick, I'm curious as a Celtics fan, were you, what's your reaction and kind of, just some quick stats that, Hater Central posted. He still had 12 towels passed, 18 Gatorade assists. So he was doing the work on the bench despite, I'm sorry, I thought that was super funny. So, but overall, just really shocking not playing.
It was, and I get this is a super team, and there are stars after stars after stars, and nobody's going to be happy if they're getting less playing minutes, no matter who they are. Like whether it's Kevin Durant, whether it's Jason Tatum, somebody's going to get less playing minutes than they want just because you want to use all these guys. But I just think it's weird that, a guy who's finished, all NBA the past 2 years, just won the title. I know he wasn't, finals MVP, so maybe that's why he didn't play. But just a guy like that, it's just weird not seeing him play. And maybe it's because Kevin Durant went absolutely nuts this game. He missed one time. So maybe that's just Steve Kerr just let him roll and said, you know what, Jason, we're going to just keep you down for rest, and then you can play next game. Because I know Durant's kind of been dealing with like a calf injury. So maybe they'll give Durant more rest next game, and then Tatum will play it. I'm not too worried about it. I don't think there's some sort of like vendetta that Steve Kerr has against Jason Tatum. There's no reason to have that. It's the Olympics. Like, you're there to win.
I get it, but at the end of the day, like, Derek White's playing 16 minutes, and Jason Tatum.
I think it was much more of a like Derek White might fit what they're trying to run against Serbia better, because Jason Tatum's not a 3-and-D point guard who just spreads the ball out. Like, he's more of a big man scorer, a lot like Kevin Durant, but just KD was going crazy. So
let me give you but say just the rest of the way, he may play some spot minutes here or there, but he plays like 5 minutes.
Then there'd be, people would be like, what the hell's going on? And including myself, because I mean, am I crazy in saying Jason Tatum is one of the better players on this team?
I feel like we should do maybe like a power rankings, mid-episode of what is
just to go through the roster and see who
what is the pecking order on this team.
Yeah.
Because overall, accomplishments are one thing and stuff, but that I am curious, to see kind of, where do you think maybe this can kind of turn into, where do you think Jason Tatum ranks on this Olympic men's team?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is he better than this player, kind of situation? So yeah, let's just get into it. I would say, regardless, the number one option on this team is LeBron James. Still. Yeah. And I think that's kind of undeniable. Devin Booker.
I think Tatum's better than Devin Booker. Defensively, he adds, I think, a lot more than Devin Booker.
I think the consistency, though, with Devin Booker's 3-shot is why I think he plays more, just because
you could be right.
Yeah. That's what they do.
Like, everybody brings their own game. Not everybody's the same player. I would just
pick be a fit thing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Steph Curry?
With Derek White. Steph Curry's such a one guy. Like, Steph Curry can, go 9 for 9 from 3 any game. So that's tough to say he's better.
Yeah, no. And this may not necessarily be like who's better, but like maybe who just fits the team well, because there may be a guy that I think coming up, or the next guy, I'll just get into it. I think Anthony Davis is higher up on the pecking order in Team USA than Tatum.
I would agree, just because Anthony Davis is much more of a big man. Like, Tatum's not a center. And Anthony Davis, I would say is the best center on this team, because, again, Joel Embiid did not play good yesterday. He only had 4 points as a starter. Like, granted, he had way less minutes, but I don't know why he's starting.
I think the number 2 option, maybe even number 1 points, obviously Kevin Durant started yesterday, is definitely probably number 1 or number 2. You're good with that, right?
As higher up than Jason Tatum?
Yeah, and just being like a 1 or 2 on this team.
I'm not mad if Kevin Durant is the guy starting over Jason Tatum now.
Next guy is actually my guy, Ant-Man.
That one's close. But they're 2 very different players, I think.
Yeah, I think Ant's the perfect 6-man off the bench to take out Booker or Curry, whoever,
Right, exactly. Like, Tatum's not going to sub in for a guy like Curry, who's, that's not where he fits in.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, pecking order wise, on Team USA, I'm just trying to see where does Tatum rank, because I think the last place is Tyrese.
I think Tatum's better than Tyrese. I think Tatum's better than Bam.
Yeah. But I think just the lack of front court depth, though, with Embiid always in foul trouble, I think Bam is really helpful for this team and his defense. I would put Tatum, though, ahead of him. But then I still think, obviously we mentioned LeBron. Drew Holiday has proven he can be really valuable. So I'm not quite
that's
sure.
Tough to say, because just the value Holiday brings, it's tough to. I mean, I think you could plug in Tatum to Holiday's spot and they would be fine, if that's what we're wondering.
They could be, but
Holiday is just such a good all-around player. It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough though, and obviously Joel Embiid starts, so it's tough to when you really think about it, kind of where does Tatum fit in, because just given he does play like the forward position. In the forwards, you obviously have Kevin Durant, LeBron James, who's arguably the 1 and 2 right now. You still have, just forward/guards like Anthony Edwards, and it's supposed to be Kawhi Leonard, but obviously now it's, Derek White. And Bam Adebayo is basically a forward because they run um, two centers at points like Bam, AD, Bam and Bede, or, stuff like that. So I think it's, it's interesting why he didn't get no run. But, I am curious to see because all eyes will be next game. Celtics fans pointed to the 50-point win they gave Golden State, and if Steve Kerr was a little salty, but, at the end of the day, this is the pros. Steve Kerr has won, 4 championships. I don't really think he cares about, a loss, even if it was as bad as it was. I don't think he has like a hatred towards, anyone. But like I will say this,
he wouldn't have started Derek White or Drew Holiday if that was the case.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And I was gonna say, and to, backput on that though, like I think Steve Kerr is just one of those guys you got to earn trust with. And I think for Anthony Edwards, like I said, he didn't start on the team last year where the starting lineup was Austin Reeves, Brandon Ingram, I don't know, I think Tyrese. Yeah, and Ant was by far and away the best player on that team, but he didn't even start. And then progressively as it went on, he was able to earn that trust. And so, I think for Tatum, it may just take whenever he does get his run just to, play, really well. And, at the end of the day, this isn't the NBA. So this isn't, Celtics versus, Suns where the Celtics would probably win. But, the Suns, Kevin Durant, he's obviously still, I think, a top 5 to 10 player in the world. He reminds us here, but overall, truly just special just seeing his shooting. Obviously, the all-time U.S. men's Olympic score.
Yeah, I still think Kevin Durant, when he's on his A game, is a top 2 scorer in the world. Like it's impossible to guard him when he's going.
I really want to see KD and Ant on the same team at some point before he hangs it up.
Man, bro's he's already trying to, persuade.
This is good recruiting right here. Expert one. Obviously Cannon, or I think KD was Ant's idol growing up. And just seeing them two finally take the court together, that was nice to see. Checking in at the same time, playing most of their minutes together. And, there's a big reason why they went on a run together, just that energy they both bring. Just saying, Nick, like maybe a year from now, say shit doesn't work out in Phoenix, maybe the Timberwolves underperform or something, and you're looking to, trade one of your big man, just do like a swap for swap, band for band deal, get the crew together. I'm just saying. Because that would be
keep dreaming, buddy. If that happens, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, you say that, but it was very nice just to see them play together. Obviously, but I mean they've already played against each other in the playoffs. So with that being said, though, overall good first U.S. men's Olympic dub to start off their quest for the gold medal. As we'll get more into it. I think their next game is Wednesday against, I believe it's South Sudan or the other team. I think they play Puerto Rico as well in their group. So they definitely can pick up 2 more dubs there. But South Sudan, obviously a 1-point win, was in the scrimmage or whatever you call it. It'll be very interesting to see how they look again this time around. But with that being said, as always, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and let us know in the comments what were your biggest takeaways and reactions or thoughts to the Jason Tatum getting benched. We're always curious, but overall, should be interesting. A lot of Celtics fans will have their eyes on the next game to see when he does check in, but it'll be fun. But with that being said, as always, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.